Taurus, right away I'm getting a message that you're being heavily discussed and talked about. This could be by people you know, people you don't know. It could be in the spirit realm. We're going to see what spirit wants to say about that message that's coming in pretty loud and clear. You're being heavily discussed, okay? There's something here that you're doing or that you've done that somebody is taking into consideration, like they're contemplating on what it is that you're saying or doing. There seems to be a little bit of back and forth in this discussion. Okay, maybe someone hasn't really settled on what they feel or what they think quite yet, but you're being heavily discussed. Okay, so that message is coming through right away. I also have two cards here that I pulled out before I turned on the camera from this alchemy deck. And these two cards represent the two forces that you're working with at this time that are coming together. Then I pulled a third card. It's face down, so we're going to turn it over at the end of the reading to see what it is. But this third card represents what these two forces are going to create for you, what's going to manifest out of these energies. So we have first force you're working with is tin. We have the Jupiter symbol here. And the next force is lightning. So together, what Spirit is saying here for you, to you, is that there's an opportunity for much expansion in your work, in your relationships, in your psychic abilities, in your energetic field. There's a lot of possibility for expansion with Jupiter here. But you're under some kind of pressure right now. You're holding some kind of weight that cannot be sustained. Okay, it's impossible to carry around this weight with you. I feel like it's a little bit of an emotional weight. I actually feel it in my eyes. Like, you know how when your eyes get heavy and tired, it kind of feels like that. It's in your head, but it's also very emotional, but it feels like you're carrying the emotions in your mind. Interesting. It feels almost like there's some heavy emotions that you could be pushing away or repressing, or you're trying to not let them come to the surface, not let them be felt through your body. Perhaps because you've gotten used to sustaining yourself this way, or there's some kind of pressure outside of yourself where it doesn't feel safe to release these emotions. There's something here, Taurus, that's pretty heavy, okay, in the energy. Spirit is saying that you're being heavily discussed here, like you're under review in some way, maybe in a literal sense, but it's like some person or spirit guides are trying to decide here which way you're going with something. And your guides really want you to expand. But you can't do that because of this weight that you're feeling. There's something about aluminum foil, like tin foil here, and the crinkling sound that makes. I don't know, maybe you want to think about how does that make you feel, that sound, or something about it could be significant. Some of you need to talk to somebody who you trust. Okay, you're kind of keeping things in, not telling people what's going on with you. So the need to expand here, but being under some kind of pressure. It's like you're at an emotional breaking point even, I feel. Perhaps this is in a relationship or just in general. And then the other force we have is lightning. And this card talks about perfectionism, the desire to do things perfectly, to be right, hesitating with your creations, or hesitating on moving forward. There's a self-critical, over-analyzing energy that is blocking your expansion. Now, I also feel like you could be hanging on to some idea that you had about a relationship going somewhere or a friendship being supportive to you, or there's some idea, some perfect idea you have of something in your life, and it's just not panning out that way. And I feel like you're having a little bit of a hard time letting it go or seeing things for what it really is, because it feels uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable. But because you're at this breaking point, it's going to be really difficult to ignore the signs, the symbols, the omens that Spirit is sending you about the need to release something, purify yourself from some energy, cleanse your energy and your space and maybe the people that you associate with, in order for you to expand. Jupiter just went direct in your sign, so astrologically as well, there is a real big push for Taurus energy to expand, no matter where Taurus is in your chart. So we're going to get into the tarot and unfold this reading a little bit more. Now, I chose this bat tarot I have, and if you don't already know, I had a bat encounter actually last night. If you want to hear more about that, check out my Instagram. I'm a Taurus as well. So I felt guided to use this deck. I felt like the bat was trying to tell me something. And the bat symbolizes rebirth and transformation, but it also navigates through sonar and vibration. So it's able to navigate through dark spaces based on its intuition and its ability to pick up vibes. There could be a tone of voice that somebody has taken with you that is not resonating, and you need to pay attention to that. Or maybe you can just pick up someone's energy through their voice signature. Interesting. Their voice signature. Someone's voice can tell you a lot if you listen closely. And it's not necessarily the words, it's the feeling that you get when you hear that voice. Okay? You know, our subconscious mind picks up all kinds of clues about who somebody really is. So pay attention to those clues, because I feel like you're kind of pushing some of them away. You don't want to see something, maybe. Okay? So the bat is here. Literally, it was here. It's no longer in my home. But it was literally here to come in and tell you about a transformation that wants to happen, a rebirth. Okay? And yes, I know it was in my home, but this is part of your message. I'm being guided to share this with you. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to get out 6 cards here, or 5 cards, sorry. And we'll find out what's going on for Taurus spirit guides. Or anyone else tuning in who resonates with Taurus energy. I feel like someone needs to be honest with you about how they feel, about themselves, about you, about your connection, or about your work situation. But it feels like they're not being honest because they're afraid. It feels like they're hiding something even from themselves. This person could be reactive in some sense, triggered easily, because there is something surfacing for this person that they're finding uncomfortable, and they could be projecting that uncomfortability onto you. So perhaps this feeling that you have of repressing emotion that I'm picking up on is not even solely your own. You could be really feeling into the energetic space of someone else. They could be detrimental right now here to your expectation. I'm hearing your expansion is what I was going to say. Detrimental to your expectations. Maybe you're lowering your expectations in some way. Can we get some cards on this? The Devil. Yeah. Who is this, Taurus, for you? could be someone who's really concerned with material things, sex, money, addictions. They could be really indoctrinated or really, I'm hearing matrix-sized, really brainwashed by the matrix mentality. Okay, this is someone who's very interested in making money as well. It seems like they're a little bit money driven. Yeah, I feel like this person well, it's like they're listening to something. Maybe it's it's something about the world, Ace of Pentacles, about how to gain things, how to get things, how to move ahead. But for some reason, their vision of success and moving forward is not the same vision you have. Okay, there's something about this that feels a little bit off, a little bit shadowy, greedy, just not in resonance with you. But it's almost like they're trying to convince you that you're on the same playing field or that you're a match in some way. Something's off here. Okay. So let's see. Why are these forces of tin and lightning coming together for you? Tin being expansion and lightning being this hesitancy, the need to feel like everything has to be perfect before you release something or before you accomplish something, before you do something. You could also be very concerned and worried about other people's perceptions of you. This is coming up for you because of the Six of Cups. Because there's something here in your subconscious, perhaps that was inculcated at childhood, okay, really got in there. I'm seeing a worm going into an apple. Something got into your subconscious in childhood or in the past, we could just say. And Spirit's trying to deworm you of something. Oh yeah, there was also something about the liver coming up. Maybe you need to cleanse. But then Sagittarius also talked about the liver being linked to a story about Prometheus and the Greek gods and how, you know, the liver was considered to be the emotional seat. Okay, so there's something about cleansing your liver and your emotions in some way. Maybe it's literal, maybe it's metaphorical. But it's like Spirit wants you to find that worm that's been wiggling its way into your apple, or maybe it's been in there for some time, and remove it, get it out. And you know, it's beautiful that Spirit is giving me the apple symbol, because when you cut an apple in half, you get a pentagram, a pentacle, a 5-pointed star representing all the elements in spirit. This is why apples represent knowledge and magic, because they carry the wisdom of all the elements and your connection to source consciousness. So there's a worm that's gotten in there. Maybe it's this person over here, or maybe it's something from the past. But it feels like Spirit wants you to reflect a little bit about your family dynamic even. I'm seeing 4 people at a dinner table. Okay. Are you repeating any patterns from your childhood, family environment, in your current relationships, even in work? I feel like there might be something you need to look at there about your levels of emotional satisfaction and your expectations not being met and you kind of putting up with it. Okay, so how will this clash of forces of expansion and then hesitancy and worries about perception impact you? We have Judgment, and on this card it says discretion. Wow. So Spirit is really asking you to use your discretion when it comes to the influence and impact that other people have on your energy and on your life. And this may even be in subtle ways. You may not notice it at first. Maybe you just see the wormhole, but you don't realize there's a whole damn worm in the apple. You're just like, oh, maybe that just got bruised in the process, but it's okay when it's not okay. You know what I mean? Something doesn't feel okay. But the good news is, expansion, Jupiter is here for you. And then we have this owl here with judgment, and the owl is the predator of the bat. Interesting. Also a nocturnal animal. So there could be a predatory like energy here. Maybe you feel like somebody's after something that you have. You know, the challenges that are going to arise for you in this situation is the Seven of Swords. Spirit wants you to awaken consciously to what's been going on and stop trying to kind of sideline things or be like, oh, I'll just deal with that later. Oh, we're good now. Next fight, I'll deal with it, or whatever the case is for you. You know, in any context in your life, any situation, this energy can be translated into. But Spirit wants you to really think about how you're allowing someone else to impact you in a way that is detrimental to your expansion. I also feel like Spirit wants you to think about how this played out in the similar situation that you're working through, how this played out in your family unit. Maybe between your parents, maybe with your siblings, or maybe between you and your parents. Like there's something here that's similar, and it might not be immediately obvious. With awakening in the Six of Cups, this might take a little bit of shadow work, a little bit of journaling, a little bit of going into those uncomfortable zones to really figure out what's going on. Some of you might be having a hesitancy to expand with someone, and you need to listen to that hesitancy. Okay? Because I do believe it's an intuition that you're having. So what challenges will arise when you confront this, when you use your discretion and your discernment, and you awaken to some of the difficult things that are happening around you, to you? Well, you face the truth that somebody is not here for your best interest, that you're harming yourself in the process. Somebody could be seducing you here. The Devil with the Ace of Pentacles. This is a seductive offer. Or it's somebody tempting you so that they can gain something from you. This golden apple that you have. Somebody could be making you, guilt-tripping you in some sense too. So it's going to be a challenge to confront this cunning, deceptive behavior that's been going on here. This is not going to be easy, Taurus. Okay, but it must be done. What, are you going to live in denial for all of your days? No. So how can you thrive with this energy coming together? We have the Page of Pentacles. This is kind of going back to square one in a sense. It's becoming a student. It's learning the hard lesson. You could also be redirecting, course correcting. You know, going back to the bat for a minute that was in my home, it's all okay. Everybody's safe. The cats are good. We're all good. But I ended up taking it to a conservation wildlife center, and they're going to keep it until the spring and then release it into this beautiful conservation area. a lot better than, a lot more woods and trees than where it's coming from. But in order for me to take that bat and give it that new, fresh start that's going to be a lot better for it, I had to see it. It had to cause a disruption in my life. And it was a little bit scary. It was a little bit shocking to see a bat flying around. And it's like, that's what's going on with this energy too. It's like, oh God, this is a little shocking here. This is scary. I don't want to confront this. But you're going to know what to do. And what you do is you give that part of yourself that is instinctual, that can pick up on vibes, that is advocating for a rebirth. You give it exactly what it wants, a new life, a better life. But first you have to confront it. You have to deal with it. You have to see it. Can't ignore it. Okay, so what does Spirit want you to know about yourself? 5 of Pentacles. A lot of the fears you have and the reasons why you're not letting go of certain things here is because there's a little bit of, and okay, so just, take what resonates. There could be a fear of loneliness here. And I know you're good alone. You can do your own thing. You're pretty independent. But I'm seeing this, I think it's like a gorilla look over at these people with this longing. It's like, I'm not a part of this anymore. I'm not a part of the crowd. I'm not a part of the group. I'm not a part of the family anymore. I'm on the outside and everybody else is having fun over there. It's like feeling left out a little bit. This might even go back to childhood. Maybe there was some bullying type situation or feeling like you didn't belong with the rest of the people around you. That is somewhere stuck in your subconscious where now you kind of lowered your expectations of people just so that you could feel that sense of belonging. You know what I'm saying? So Spirit wants you to know that there is something here, a fear, a concern that you have about being left out in the cold, about being forgotten or being on the outs, not being good enough is a big one. Not being good enough. And Spirit wants you to look at that fear because you are good enough. Okay, you have the awakening card here. Maybe we should get another card for you to tell you that you are good enough. Just so that you know. Let's get one of these and then I'll turn over the last card that we had. The Death card from another deck just fell on the floor. Yeah, this is about a rebirth for you. Can we get a little bit of a message of support on this 5 of Pentacles, Spirit, for Taurus? Message of support. I'm hearing the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Be the best version of yourself and start today. Yeah, it's like you're not living up to your potential here. Spirit sees the best version of you, and they want you to also see that part of you. But you have to start making some changes, some difficult changes and decisions for that to happen. Okay, let's see the outcome here. We have the Moon card. This is facing your fears and your emotions. Let's read in the book what she says about Moon. It's the number 2, which corresponds in the tarot to the High Priestess. So to become the High Priestess, highly intuitive and the keeper of secrets and wisdom and knowledge, you have to go through the dark. You have to face your fears. You have to encounter difficulties. And you have to face the devil, the shadow side of other people and of yourself. Mystery, receptivity, and intuition. The moon represents the mother of all mysteries. Once a month, it slips into the full spotlight and then quietly disappears, only to initiate the cycle again, gifting us with the message of impermanence. The moon reminds us we are in constant transition, a continual process of letting go. It is the yin principle, one of listening rather than speaking. This card may indicate a time of rest and restoration is in order, or that a new depth of spiritual practice calls. Dreams and memories may be especially vivid. The gates to the liminal realm have opened. The alchemist's task, you, is to be receptive to its message. Be patient, though, as the moon speaks in the language of symbols, and deciphering its messages takes time and receptivity. Magic is afoot. Sink into it, sweet child. Yes, Taurus, you are definitely awakening, resetting, I'm hearing. You're resetting something. So you have to be receptive to the messages that you're receiving from your guides, from your intuition, from signs and symbols, from the bat spirit and the owl spirit. All right, Taurus, I'm going to go into an extended reading. And in the extended, we will go a layer deeper. We will find out more about what's going on, some more advice. We'll look more into this devil character, all of that. But if you don't want to go along to that, or you can't for whatever reason, then trust that you received all the information that you need here. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.